welcome back to my channel. It is Sonia Miller here from Junk Monkey Paint Company, and guess what? Who would have believed it, right? I found myself an awesome project today with the help of a friend, right? With the person that's behind this camera today. Aloria, this is your chair, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And are you ready to put some color onto it?
Of course I am.
It's part of your room. You use it at your desk, right, when you're online. And it's time to make it like not brownie frowny, right? Right now it's kind of looking like yellowish from plain. It's plain Jane, right? And if you can see Aloria right now, she's got blue hair, okay? So Aloria lives life in color. She needs a chair to match that personality. What do you guys think, right? So we're gonna make it happen today. And should we show them, Aloria, the color that you picked? What color? Say it loud, say it proud, girl.
Misty Aqua.
Misty Aqua. Can you guys see that? Hopefully it comes across okay on the camera, all right? So this is a beautiful like blue. It has a little bit of a hint of green into it as well. Go figure. Girl with blue hair picked out a really pretty blue color too, right? And so I love this. This is one of our most popular colors here at the Junk Monkey. You can find it at junkmonkeypaint.com. And today we are gonna flip this chair and I'm gonna give you my best tips, my top 3 tips for when you're flipping furniture, and we're gonna use this chair as an example, okay? So number 1, let's talk about the prep. Much like any piece of furniture, how do I clean my pieces of furniture? I like to use crud cutter, and I'll make a link below for it as well so you can find the exact same kind that I'm using. Typically you can get this at hardware stores. I know specifically Lowe's and Home Depot does carry it, and also Walmart carries it as well, which is a good thing. I want to say on average it's about $6 depending on where you shop, but it's nice because it says on here that it's non-toxic, which is a bonus in my world because I'm around a lot of painted furniture. It's a spray, which I like to just, you know, spritz it over real quick. And it's actually called on here the painter's friend, and it says right on it, it removes tough, oily, greasy, grimy, gooey problems, okay? So with any chair, it's nice to prep the surface, especially if you have pieces. In this case, it's Aloria's chair. It's from her home. It's a little bit different, right? We know where the home it came from. A lot of times when you're treasure hunting or you're finding pieces on the side of the road, you're finding pieces that are dirty and that just need some love, right? Or you found a desk. Tell me, how many times have I found a desk at Goodwill and it might be only $4.99, but I've got to take the stickers off the side of it. I've got to totally clean it because it has a layer of dust bunnies and sometimes greasiness, right? So this is my favorite cleaner. Just spritz it all over, get some on it. And then we're going to go ahead and use a paper towel to go ahead and wipe that off and dry it. You never want to paint a piece of furniture when the wood is still wet, okay? You want to make sure that even when you put the cleaner on it, that it has had a chance, you're cleaning it, and then you're having a chance for it to air dry so you can begin the next step. Take the time to get a medium grit sand pad. They're on our web page as well. I'll put all the links below. And take the time to just buff it a little bit, okay? So we've cleaned it. Now we're gonna buff it a little bit because this is the area that's gonna get the most use, right? This is where your butt goes, for heck's sake. So think about when you get your nails done, and those nail technicians, they buff your nails just a little bit light before they put the polish on, right? So we're gonna use a chalky style paint today, Misty Aqua, and yes, it's gonna stick to this chair, but we're gonna even increase the durability because we're gonna take a moment to open the pores. And what this does is we're not trying to sand it down to the actual wood base. We're just buffing it a little bit. So what it's gonna do is even grab a little bit more. Okay, tip number 2 for when you're painting furniture, specifically when you're painting a chair. If you're gonna stand up here and you're gonna paint from this direction, I promise you, in fact, let's bet on it that you're gonna miss a part of some section down here, okay? So tip number 2, specifically when you are flipping furniture, literally flip it, do a physical flip, turn it over so you can get this all down here done first before you do the top. This is kind of the boring part anyway, right? It's hidden, it's underneath the big seat part, and so we're gonna paint it and we're gonna get that done, and then we can really focus on the top part that shines. Okay, we got like the bottom done, right? So I finished the bottom, flipped it up right. Did you guys pay attention? Because this is gonna be tip number 3. Did you see one of the things I did as I was working around the bottom? Did you see what I did with my hands as I was moving and painting? Phew, girls gotta fuel up and stay hydrated. If you don't believe that painting furniture is a lot of work, let me just tell you, it does, right? So it requires some stamina, But at the end of the day, if you're somebody who's learning to paint furniture, the cool thing is just even if you knock out a side or a piece of a project that you're working on, can make a big difference, right? It's the whole thing of how do you eat an elephant one bite at a time, right? So we're eating this elephant today. I'm gonna do it in all one entire session. So have you had a chance to think? Did you think back to what I was doing with my brush? So here is tip number 3 for when you're painting your furniture or even mason jars or anything of that nature, anything that has a round, like not an edge to it, but rather it's round. Instead of going up and down, I want you to take your brush and go around, okay? I want you to go around pillars, columns, anything like that that you would be painting that has columns in it or any rounded wooden pieces. That will, my friends, get you a more professional finished look. So we dried this piece up. Now we're gonna go ahead and do a distressing. Here's a tip. If you're gonna distress close to the time that you've painted, you're gonna have to use your elbow grease even less, okay? So we're gonna go right at it, and you'll see how easy it is right now because before this paint, I mean, it is newly, freshly dried. And so what I'm gonna do now is take this opportune time to add in a little bit of distressing. And remember, this is where a belt buckle would hit. This is where the back of somebody when they sit. So you want to make your distressing natural. The tops, of course, we all know is edges of chairs. That's where it bumps against things. So let's go ahead and do this as well. And then my friends, I like to put a few distress marks in the seat as well, because remember, like I said in the beginnings, that this is where there's a whole lot of wear and tear. So let's make that realistic. So let's take a look here. Okay, Loria, when you see something that you like, just like be like, possibility. Did you see anything that you like?
I like the compass.
You like the compass? Okay, let's do it. Let's do it. I think a compass in what color? What color? Would you like it? Black? I can even see it in black or navy on here.
Yeah.
You know, what do you think?
What do you think?
What do I think? It could be either. Want to do a standard black?
Sure, yeah.
Yeah? Just like keep it classy?
Oh, yeah.
Keep it classy. All right, let's do it. I'm telling you, our black velvet paint is awesome for stencils, especially if you just want like black silhouettes and things like this. See, I knew I got this for the perfect project, and so I'm so glad I whipped it out. We were able to find something that would work for Aloria's piece today. So let's get to stenciling. So we've got the stencil on the chair here. Here's where I just kind of like eyeball it up. And we're gonna go with a black velvet to really make this pop. And I'm gonna do it in a little bit of a distressed fashion because it's gonna match with the rest of the chair as well. Does that look really good to you right there, Loria, where that is? Are you happy with that?
Yeah.
Now, one thing we need to know about this chair is it has a little bit of a groove right here. That's just the way the chair is built to be able to be comfortable. So when you do a stencil in a chair, honestly, you can tape it down if that helps you. But for me, I do what I call finger acrobatics, where I hold it down with my fingers. But just know that you kind of have, it's one of those pieces that you're just going to have to manipulate with your hands, so that way your paint can make contact with the chair, okay? Because there is a hump. All right, let's get a little bit of our black velvet right here. Our paint is really cool because it's made thick and chunky. It's just the way I like it. And that's how our paint started for me as a shabby painter. I've been painting for 10 years. And now a product that we made behind the scenes for me to be able to paint with, now I make it available to you guys. And so it is nice and thick and chunky because I'm gonna tell you that for me as a shabby painter, it just gives me some beautiful effects. And now I'm gonna go ahead and grab my sand block and just distress that just a little bit more to fade it out. I'm gonna add some distress lines into it because we don't want this stencil to be looking all perfect when we got the rest of the chair in a style that's old and used, right? So there we go. Now the last thing we have to do is seal this, okay? So this is I always say that if you have something that's high traffic, use a poly. But in this case, we've also, we can bear in mind that we've also done this piece to look shabby and all shabby-fied. So I'm gonna go ahead and seal with our clear wax and put this all over it, okay? I still have, the last time I used this brush, I still have a little bit of a black paint pigment left into it from doing a black and red piece that we did, which is on here. That's another vlog. So I'm just gonna go ahead and before I even wash my wax brush, I'm gonna leave that on because I think a little bit of black on top of this would also make this look really used and aged, okay? But with our 20 milk paint colors, honestly, you can combine and you can make so many different colors of waxes. So that is all the fun and up to you. All right, we are all done. Thank you so much for subscribing to this channel. I hope you are learning lots of tips and tricks to help you perfect your paint technique even better. And also, if you want to hang out with us behind the scenes here at the Junk Monkey, where the fun never stops. You never know what we're going to get into each day. We even take you on our vlogging travels, right? On our Junkin' travels, everything. So thanks for hanging out with us here. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and also hit the little bell over here as well. What that does is it will notify you every single time we upload another episode, and we upload vlogs on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. So there's always fun happening right here. Thanks guys, have a great day. I'll see you next time.